She was his visa out of Jamaica until she found out this.
I came to Jamaica and we spent the whole 2 weeks together. It was great. It was not awkward at all. It actually felt like we had been married for a long time, was what it felt like. Even the way that I dealt with his family. And for a bit of it, we stayed at a resort where I was teaching fitness classes. And he would just talk to anyone who would listen and tell them that I had fitness classes going on, that they should come. And he would tell everyone that I was also doing UGC and that he was so proud of me. And then when I would actually teach the classes, he was like my biggest cheerleader. He would be the one, cheering me on, cheering my participants on. And, he would go and get me water and all that stuff. Never left my side, not even for a second. And when there would be other women around, he would make it a point to let them know that he was with me, which I appreciated. But, it's nice to be reassured in that way by your partner in that way. So it was great. And then we stayed with his family for a little bit. I finally met his family in person, fell in love with him. Honestly, if I could marry his family, I would rather marry his family. I fell in love with them, and from what I've been told, it's vice versa as well. And I think that they were so hospitable to me, and they took care of me. They cooked for me. They made sure I ate. They just did everything, and they spent time with me. And honestly, no matter what had happened with the relationship, I would have considered them my family, because that was something that I'm not very close to mine. So it was nice to have that kind of relationship with my would-be in-law family. So it was nice. And I will always be there for them. The whole time that we were there, they lived on top of this steep hill, and it was rocks, and it was really slippery when it rains. And when we got there, it was really slippery. And my sandals, for whatever reason, just could not handle the rocks, and I was slipping. And then this man carried me on his back all the way up the hill to his house so I can navigate those damn rocks. And he made me breakfast every morning. Either he or his mother did, or his sister. Made sure I ate. He made me tea. He knew I was diabetic, and his sister was a nurse. His sister is a nurse. And so he made sure to ask her what he needed to know about being diabetic. So she gave him all kinds of advice on what he can do for me. And it was really sweet. But everything has a good side and a bad side. This is why no matter what was happening, I really tried to work it out. And I tried for a long time, I feel. It feels like such a long time that I've been trying to work it out, because it was probably the most serious relationship that I've ever had. And I just really wanted to work it out. And I felt like, love conquers all. And if I just loved him enough, he would realize that he's loved, something that he may not have been feeling throughout his childhood or growing up with the tough life that he's had. And I just wanted to be that person who was there for him, to encourage him and to challenge him to be a better person, not for me, but for himself. I just wanted to made me want to become a better person for him. And I guess that was the mistake. What happened with this man, with this guy, with this boy, is that I would try to trust him every single day. I would bring myself up to trust him every single day. And something will happen that will bring me back down to zero. And I'll have to keep on working up again. So the very first time that I caught him in a lie was actually regarding his ex. He was showing me pictures at his home about his family. We were on the phone. We were on a video call. And he was telling me how he had named me Lifeline Wifey on his WhatsApp or on his phone or whatever. So he would screen share a lot. And he showed me my name. And I saw another name that I believe it said some kind of wifey as well. And so I asked him who it was. He tried to shrug it off, blah. Finally, he said that was his ex. And apparently, he had her blocked for several months before I met him. But he had her blocked because they were on their downtime. They were fighting or whatever. They weren't getting along. And so he blocked her. First of all, during that time, that was his thing.
he would block women on social media, on WhatsApp, on everything. And so he would always show me, look at all these women who I've blocked because I'm talking to you. And so that was his thing. So he blocked her. They were together for 3 years, I believe. And I know that he was truly in love with her. And I believe that he still is. In fact, just as a tangent, he actually called me on Sunday morning. I believe it was Sunday morning. And I didn't answer, of course. I haven't been answering his phone calls. And then I discovered that he changed his WhatsApp profile pic to this picture of him and her, the ex, from a long time ago. It's not a new picture. And he also posted the picture on his Instagram. And today I saw that he changed his profile picture to that photo as well. Now, I don't know if he was setting it up so that only I can see it, because he used to do that to me on WhatsApp all the time. He would change his status or his profile pic. And as you know, you can do that on WhatsApp where you can set it up so only one person sees it. So I don't know. If they're back together, congratulations to the both of you. If you're still together at this time, you probably deserve each other. I'm glad you're getting what you wanted. But if you are doing it to make me jealous and to make me come back to you, you have got to be the stupidest mother effer to even think that would make me come back to you. Anyways, so that was the first lie that I discovered. All right. So we would fight about it. I never really let him forget about it. And he would say that I was his backup plan, but now he had made a choice, or he had decided to choose me. And so he said that. I don't think I ever really believed it. The second time that I caught him in a lie again is there was one time he had called me while I was at work. All right. Now this boy is so jealous, is very jealous. And I never really faulted him for it because I'm a pretty jealous person myself. So I cannot fault him for that. Anyways, he called me at work and I happened to be on the phone with a friend from Jamaica as well, a male friend, and we are literally just friends, but we are close friends. We used to talk every day, all that stuff, but we're just close friends. He went off the deep end, did not talk to me for about 5 days, I believe, something like that. I genuinely got worried that something had happened because I would text him and he wouldn't respond back. He finally called after about the 4 or 5 days and he said, "Oh, I got so jealous that I wanted to do something that will hurt you." So what he did was he called his ex. He reached out to his ex and basically he said that they got back together for the 4 days and then he decided again, or maybe they had a fight. He decided to block her again because he's choosing me again. Listen, I know the stupidity of it all. I am telling you my story to get some kind of support, which you don't need to verbalize or anything. Just don't judge me, all right? I don't need your judgment. I don't need engagement so badly that I will accept your judgment. So don't be rude. So I guess from that time on, I pretty much stopped believing anything that he said. I would try to convince myself that he deserved to at least have me working on my trust issues, and I did that. But then something would happen that would make me not trust him again. So what happened after that was we would talk on WhatsApp late into the night. I would catch him being on WhatsApp at like 2:30, 3:30 in the morning, his time, around that time. I'm like, what the fuck is this boy doing at this time? And so I asked him about it. He shrugged it off. And I was kind of thinking that his ex lives in the UK. And I was thinking, well, the UK is, I think, about 6 hours ahead or whatever. I'm like, okay, maybe he's calling his ex again. And what he actually said was no, that he had actually met someone in Jamaica. He met her at a shop and he would call her for a video call at that time. You can use your imagination to see what people do during that time if they're on a video call, a man and a woman, okay? So he said that they've only had sex 5 times, was exactly the number that he said. But basically that's the reason why they would talk during that time. And of course, that killed me. And then after that, he said, no, there was actually no other woman. I just lied to you because I wanted to see how you would react. Up until this day, although I do believe that there is a woman who he met at a shop who he's having sex with, or who he's been having sex with this whole time, I don't actually know for sure. I don't even actually know for sure if he's been talking to his ex, because I know that his ex wanted nothing to do with him. So I don't actually know what's happening with that. But all this time, every time I would ask him about it, okay, he would say things like, oh, can someone not have friends? Or he would say things like, it's family. First of all, when he said it was family, I thought it was his ex. I knew it was his ex because he calls her family. So just like he started calling me family after a while. So whatever, I stopped believing him. I would just take whatever he said with a whole bottle of salt. When I came to Jamaica, it was a lot easier because he was there. So what can he really do, right? So before I came to Jamaica, he was whining about his phone, his iPhone, which was, I believe, a gift from the ex from a while back. And he said that the battery kept on dying, the battery wasn't lasting long, blah. And so I basically got a phone for him. I got him an Android, which is what he wanted. Surprised him with it when I came. And little did I know that he actually has 2 phone numbers. And I don't know how this all works in Jamaica because this boy, I'll get into this later, this boy has no money. So I don't know how he manages 2 phones, or maybe he just uses WhatsApp. I don't know. But basically now he's got 2 phones with 2 different phone numbers. All right. So I didn't learn this until I got to Jamaica. Now he has called me with both phone numbers, whatever. And yeah, so right before I came to Jamaica, let me just move back. This boy barely works. He would probably work maybe at the most a week or month, all right? If that. I think there's been a month where I only saw him work maybe once or twice. So he's a day laborer. So he does what he can get on that day. So he goes on the road and he does whatever he can do. And sometimes some people hire him, whatever. So obviously, they get paid when the work is done. Sometimes they get paid on that day. The first thing that he would do when he gets paid is to go down to the shop and basically finish all his money on specials, I should say, because it doesn't take just one. He also has a very expensive taste in weed. And basically, he smokes from the minute he wakes up until he falls asleep. Basically, anytime that his eyes are open, he's smoking weed. And he can drink the whole day, the whole night. And that was his problem. He doesn't know how to save money to save his life. He can't even give his mother or his sister money to help them. His sister has got 2 kids. He's got an older brother and his mom. And they all make him food. And he barely gives them money, if that. So all his money goes to either weed or alcohol. And he knows that. First of all, none of what I'm talking about, there is nothing that I haven't said to him already. And he's always saying that the reason you're going to be leaving me is because I'm broke. I'm a broke ass. I'm like, no, that's not true. I do not leave people because they're broke. But I will leave you if I don't even see you trying or your mindset is so different. And he is so satisfied with and content with not doing anything in his life, not making things better. He doesn't want a regular job. He wants his own business, whatever, but he's not doing anything to start whatever, to start anything. And that's what gets me, the lack of motivation. I will not leave you because you're broke. It's all the other stuff. There would be times when, first of all, this boy would, like I said in my previous videos, he would take me to the shop when he goes and I would just sit there and keep him company even though he's, drinking with his friends or whatever. And that's fine because, it's time spent with him. And let me just tell you that when he gets so drunk, I would basically stay up with him and watch him sleep because I want to make sure that he doesn't drown on his own vomit. And I used to do that. Or if we were just talking at night, he would fall asleep and I would just stay with him sleeping for like the next hour or whatever it is. And then I'll hang up and whatever, go to bed or whatever. I would do that for him because it's time spent with him. And I was genuinely worried for him when he would come home really drunk. But I hated it when he's drunk. And I told him, don't even talk to me when you're drunk because I hate the way you are when you're drunk. Even though it's bad, at least I know with the weed, he still acts like he's sober and he still makes sense. Let me tell you one thing that this boy said to me. One day, middle of the day, he spent my lunchtime with me and he was so drunk. He took his phone and he was basically the bartender at the shop where he was at. Bartender at a bar beside the shop where he basically looked her up and down with the phone and said, she's got the best in the world. Yes, folks, that's what he said to me. I don't care how drunk you are. You do not say that to someone who you say you love every single day. I will never forget that. And I will never, ever, ever forgive him for that. So here's another thing, 2 things that I forgot. One, both when I was in Jamaica, Our first night there, we went to a restaurant at the resort. Some girl named Jasmine calls him on his phone. And obviously I asked him who it is. He said, it's this girl who I met on TikTok. She came to one of my live streams and she gives me gifts on the live stream. And I said, so what's the reason why she has your personal info, like your personal phone number? And he would always say, oh, the support. What could she possibly want support from you for? You have no money. You have nothing to give her. So what is it? He never did tell me who it was. And the other thing is that when we were at the Airbnb towards the end of my stay, there was one time we were getting ready to leave and he had left his phone, one of his phones in the Airbnb. And I was good. I was just going to give it to him. Or actually, I was going to give it to him because he was outside smoking on the patio. And the background wallpaper was the photo of him and his ex, the same one that he posted today on his Instagram and on his WhatsApp. So he lied about it. He said that he didn't know where that came from. It just randomly goes up there. And I'm like, unless it's a montage of photos that alternate, you would have had to manually put it there.